everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Ad Project Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Joe Shellerud from Ad Advance, and today I'm joined by Meredith Goldman, and we're recording at the unBoxed conference. Meredith, it's awesome to have you on the podcast.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate being here.
Yeah, so maybe give us a quick intro. Like,
Sure.
What do you do at Amazon? How do you kind of tie into the whole picture?
Why am I here?
Yeah.
I'm Director of Media Enablement at Amazon Ads, and what that means is really overseeing our product and partnerships to be able to deliver our customers the ability to find their audiences and deliver their results.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we've had a lot of different announcements at unBoxed.
Yes.
So I want to dig into a few of them. So I know there's been some discussion around like personalization and relevance. Can you kind of dive into how that ties into Amazon DSP?
Sure. Amazon really looks at personalization as the way to bring brands closer to customers. And so as customers are no longer as much of a linear journey through their media exploration, and there's just the proliferation of streaming apps and audio and anywhere anyone can find content, it's really important to be able to provide our customers the ability to reach them, but also to really be able to deliver the right message at the right time throughout their media journey. And so it's really about the relevance of helping customers craft the right message through creative and being able to reach them anywhere those audiences are.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so I got my start in Amazon. I was actually a seller about a decade ago.
Ooh.
And
Those are good years.
Yeah. As I got into it, the ad product was sponsored products.
Sponsored products,
2014,
right.
2015. And so now you have so many different layers on top of that. And so when we talk about personalization at scale,
Right.
what does that mean to you? How do you see that factoring in?
Yeah, first and foremost, the at scale part is really about how do we lower the barrier to entry for all businesses and advertisers looking to find their audiences. And so it's really being able to provide them, the creative agent, which we spoke about today, was an important element in really lowering that barrier and democratizing access and being able to provide customers the ability to transform the creative to really tell the message that is needed at that time. So that's first and foremost. The second part would be being able to really have the personalization, which is speaking to being able to transform the creative and be able to provide the right message to those individuals wherever they are in the journey.
Sure. Yeah. And so I guess when you're looking at it, how do you balance relevance versus creativity?
Yeah, I mean, it's really about having both and using creative and using AI capabilities to really help enhance and perfect that balance between relevance and creativity.
Sure.
And so that's where we feel a creative agent plays an important role.
Yeah. We're personally getting so excited about it. We've got our own tech stack. We call it Streamline internally within our agency, and just how detailed you can get with the audience insights and making sure that we're showing our ads to the right people. It's going to introduce new products to their brand. And then you layer on all the insights you have within AMC and just showing what ads are really resonating, what aren't.
Right.
And now when you layer in the creative side, now being able to uber customize these different creatives that can also speak to the audiences that we're trying to reach. It's something that we're really getting excited about, especially being able to implement that at scale. Because before we
Definitely.
saw creatives more as a constrained resource.
Yes.
That we'd have to design our campaigns around. Now it feels like it's really opening it up.
Right. And that is really the promise of a creative agent. I would say what is unique about Amazon is the ability to use AI to really be able to decipher all the complex insights that the enormous amounts of signals that we can attest to or we can bring in. So obviously Amazon has trillions of signals across streaming, browsing, but then also working with our customers and advertisers to use their first-party signals in a privacy-safe clean room through AMC to really conjoin those two signal assets to really provide the right level of detail needed to help craft what is that message that needs to be delivered. And also, to your point, how does it perform?
Yeah. And that's what's so fun is that we can personally find these different audiences that
Right.
we want to show our ads to. But at the same time, there's so many other signals that are coming into play. And so when you have this combination of tying the two together,
Right.
I feel like that's a huge advantage when we're making these creatives where it's not just what we're inputting as a third party, but there's all these different insights and signals that are flowing into the system itself.
Exactly. And, with the proliferation of signals that have definitely emerged, both first party, third party, using partners to really help develop that audience strategy, it's really important to figure out how can you scale on those insights. And that's where AI plays a really important role to enhance and support all of our customers and being able to do their job at scale.
Yeah. So we've talked about creatives a bit and the implications with AI there. How about in terms of like finding different audiences?
Right.
It seems like there's been some new launches there to use AI to generate these audiences. Can you tell me more about that and how this would work?
Yeah, it kind of goes further than what I was just saying, which is you have all these signals to inform your audience strategy, but how do you really do that at scale? This is where Ads Agent plays an important role. You know, as a trader or someone who's really operating multiple marketing campaigns at once, how are you able to really take advantage of all of those insights and put them into action? And that's where Ads Agent, you can, just use natural language, cue what you need to perform and achieve, and it will automatically pull it. And so some of the examples we had offered today were, find me all my campaigns that are delivering at 75%, increase, the bid modifier, or, optimize X number of them, and it really will just put it into action, but in a very transparent way. I think that's an important element and distinction with Campaign Manager is enabling and enhancing a customer's use of our tool set, but doing it in a transparent way and bring them along for the ride so they really can trust the recommendations and understand what's being asked of them.
Yeah. So if I'm let's say I'm a brand and I have a good base foundation with, say, my sponsored ads, and then I want to try to expand my advertising to get more upper funnel reach.
Right.
Maybe could you walk through an example of how I would use the agent to help identify what audiences come next and then implement that?
Yeah, I think there's two elements that you would want to really incorporate. One would be obviously Ads Agent to say, okay, I am looking for, let's say it's parents. Let's say you have a snack that you are selling on Amazon, and I want to deploy and find audiences where parents are looking for healthy snacks for their children. And being able to pull that, it'll give you the recommendations of here are the right curated audiences and or providing you the supply resources of like, here are the deals you should be looking for or the different inventory sources that you should be engaging. That's the first part. And the second part would be, if you're coming from sponsored brands, and let's say you want to run these campaigns on streaming TV, which historically you have not had the assets for, using Creative Agent to help build that video creative is key.
Yeah. And we work with a lot of challenger brands that may not have some of those assets. Right. And so now when you can combine in the different audiences and expand the reach that you can have, along with being able to easily create these different creatives, it just unlocks whole new opportunities for a lot of the types of brands that we work with.
Right.
So when Ads Agent is looking at building out different targeting recommendations, does it take into account like product data, the audience behavior, or both? Like how does that look?
Yeah, it really is looking to pull in all the assets that we can, basically use and leverage to really build the right audience. So looking at performance, looking at page views, details to really create and craft the appropriate audience strategy.
Sure. And do you see the different targeting options? Is this like a replacement for the existing ones, or does this complement the existing strategies that we may have in place?
Which do you mean by the targeting strategies?
So when Ads Agent is recommending different audiences that I'm going to target, do you see that complementing or replacing other strategies or audiences?
Absolutely complementing, but this is where the transparency plays an important role because it's basically giving you recommendations and guidance, but does not replace the human part of being able to know your audience is best, and like really is looking to give you the guidance. And it's more about recommendations.
Sure. Yeah. So just looking at it like bigger picture. So I now have these AI tools where not only I can just use natural language,
right,
and I can specify, okay, I'm looking to expand here, and it can recommend different audiences. And then along with that,
inventory.
Now here's inventory and creatives that I can also stack there.
Right.
So it just seems like tools to really unlock a lot of friction that we've had to move into these different types.
Exactly. And as the media landscape has gotten more complex, it's really required, how are we helping our customers solve their problems? This is a huge part of it, just the complexity and how do we make it more simple?
Sure. Yeah. And I can see, the value with all the independent third-party sellers out there that may not have huge marketing teams behind them.
Right.
Yeah. This is a huge way to democratize advertising, as we like to say.
But it's also a little bit of, you can choose your own adventure. If you want to have the full manual mode and be able, you have the experts in your team and you want to be able to optimize and do everything manually, you're absolutely allowed to, but you also have the guidance and support if you want to be able to use the AI capabilities.
Yeah. So another announcement that was covered is Deal Builder.
Yes.
And more of a self-service option for that. Can you walk me through what that looks like?
Yeah, we talked about at one point today the fact that, in the old days, especially for streaming TV, you would call your media partner, ask, get an IO, submit it, and it gets sent, right? The creatives get sent and it's activated. And while that sounds simple, it's one phone call, it takes weeks, a lot of paperwork back and forth. And so programmatic really helps to make that a much more automated process. But with Deal Builder, it really takes out any sort of middleman or slowness. You as a advertiser might be familiar with exactly what you need for your audience or to reach your audiences, and you can immediately just transact and ask in Campaign Manager for that deal directly to the different media partners and vice versa. So if you are a publisher looking to really provide a unique curated deal, whether you're using Amazon Publisher Cloud and providing enhanced supply with unique signals, you can offer that specific curated supply to specific buyers. So Deal Builder is really about connecting the advertisers with the publishers to find the right audiences.
Yeah. And so when I'm looking at this, like where would I go within the advertising console to find these? Are there different, can I see all the options listed? Kind of how's the UI look?
Yes. The UI is all through Inventory Hub, which is really the command center for finding the supply and all the deals that are available in Amazon DSP.
Okay. And then what type of advertisers would you say these deals would be best for? So at what point of the journey, or kind of what's the minimum, like in terms of spend, or like, can you give a framework on when it would make sense to layer these on the typical options that we have within the Amazon ecosystem?
I'd really encourage all advertisers of all sizes, even if you have a perfected and tried and true supply strategy. It's really important to keep an open mind and see what are other options out there? What are other deals? I don't think there's I do think there's an endless amount of supply. However, you really want to be able to have the right curation, and what is the one or few supply sources that really provide the greatest value and really drive the results for your campaign.
Sure. Yeah. So that was another exciting announcement that was covered. In terms of Amazon's DSP as a whole, I mean, there's been so many changes recently. How do you see these recent updates changing how brands are looking to both plan and execute their strategies going forward?
Yeah, it's been a pretty transformative couple of years where the Amazon ads and building Campaign Manager is really about speaking to our customers and providing them a holistic approach, one-stop shop for all of their marketing needs. And that's been why we've really been focused on all of these product developments and areas of investment.
Sure. Yeah. And so, I mean, looking ahead, there's been so many changes with AI. So How do you see AI shaping the digital advertising landscape, or even on the retail media side specifically, over the next 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, I think we talked about this a little bit, but it's really about democratizing. And so providing all brands and all businesses of all sizes the ability to really find their audiences. How do you connect? How do you create an emotional connection? How do you develop your brand? It's really important to be able to do this throughout a customer's or a consumer's journey, and really being able to have a consistent message that really speaks to their needs. And, as consumers are really just in a different place where, it's not as much of a linear journey to purchase, to a path to purchase. It really is about kind of transversing through, you're streaming and watching a show, but you're also on your phone and shopping. And so having the right message delivered at the right time is critical in really being able to drive performance.
Yeah. It is really fun for us, especially when we're working with advertisers who are used to more traditional, say linear metrics, and just how detailed you can get on the audience side to make sure that your ads are resonating with the right people.
Right.
And then you layer in AMC with all these touch points on seeing, path to purchase and lifetime value, and all these areas where we can really help quantify the value of the ads. And so it's showing the right ads at the right time, be able to measure that. And so now when you layer on the creative side, It's filling that one other piece. It's showing the right ad
Right.
to the right person that really resonates with them.
Right.
And so it's like the final stage of all these pieces integrating together into just a very powerful platform for advertisers.
Right. I mean, real-time bidding, that has always been the talk track, right? Deliver the right message at the right time to the right person.
Yeah.
But I would really say where Amazon has been influential is really driving the point home of precision matters. And so with our, recent partnerships across Roku and others, where we really have been able to drive deterministic, authenticated graph, it really does show our advertisers and customers why precision matters. And that is where you can really deliver that promise.
Yeah. And that's the other key piece, especially with all the recent updates on supply sources.
Right.
And then all the content investments that Amazon has had too. As an advertiser, it can be really difficult if you have a lot of segmented budgets. But now to be able to go to a single source,
right,
and then have all all those insights flow back to Amazon Marketing Cloud,
yes.
It makes it so much easier as an advertiser, where I have all these great audience signals, I can see the results from my ads. Now on the creative side, I can continually update that, and I can
right.
try new options. So again, it's just been fun to see how the ecosystem has built up, and it just seems like it's continually accelerating.
Yeah, I mean, we hope to continue firing on all cylinders, but really being able to have AMC, as you're speaking to, across Campaign Manager, which means being able to use AMC for any of your sponsored products and sponsored ads programs, as well as what you're trying to do on the open internet and more of an enterprise marketing solutions, is pivotal because you're able to measure across all the campaigns and really be able to understand where should I be investing my next dollar, which element, what media strategy is the most influential in delivering results.
Yeah. So with all the updates that we have, there's never a dull day in digital advertising,
right.
especially in the retail media space.
That's why we all stay in this industry.
Yeah. And so it's super fun. How do you recommend that brands really stay up to speed and up to date and fully utilize these features at the same time?
Yeah, really encourage everyone to become proficient with the AI capabilities and tools. And it's really about being able to augment and not replace your teams and resources, but to be able to scale and really deliver results.
Yeah. Yep. And I can also add to that. It's like, as we use these different tools, what we've seen is that it's allowed our teams to really dig into what we're truly good at. And so
right.
It's the relationships, it's the strategies, and the less we need to focus on the individual execution.
Yes.
And we can implement these different campaigns at scale. Right. It's better for the advertiser. It's better for the agencies too. And so it's been really fun to see these points of friction that continually get reduced over time. And I think AI is a key piece of that.
Right. I mean, AI allows us all to work smarter, not harder, and be able to just do more with our time.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you sitting down, and this has been fun to record and being live at unBoxed too. Like, the energy here is awesome.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, always so many fun updates. So yeah, thank you for joining us. And for anybody listening to that Project podcast, as always, we really appreciate you listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.